Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CanadianGameDevs.com podcast, episode number 151. This is a weekly show covering all the games made in Canada and the people who create them. My name's Steven, spelled the PH and an A like Stefan, but it's said Steven, one of the main people behind CanadianGameDevs.com, and of course, joining me this week, the co-host extraordinaire, the 6'5" man with a plan, the stonk enthusiast?
Stonk master. I'm also 6'6",
master?
by the way. I'm 6'6".
6'6", holy moly.
I know.
The crippled dunker, Steve. Spelled with a PH and an E, but we call him Steve to avoid confusion. How's it going, Steve?
It's going all right. It's been a very busy 2 weeks. And I'm waiting to Wednesday, basically. Wednesday is the first round of not busyness, and then Saturday evening is the second round of not business, because that's when Heather's done her classes and stuff. And so just got to make one more week, and then it kind of goes back to normal a little bit.
Excellent. Yeah, diehard fans of the site will have noticed our output dipped a little these past couple weeks, but we still got news for you and events and a job I'll highlight, even though they didn't pay us, but we want to help out the game dev community. So expect more content on the site in the coming weeks. Of course, we're supported by our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs, where you can go support us for early access to this show, a special channel on our Discord, occasional game key giveaways, discount codes for Canadian gaming events, and the knowledge that you're helping us keep the lights on covering the Canadian game dev scene. Steve, we are also on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Big ups to our man Wagner Co-op, who hooked us up with some nice graphics. The same graphic designer of Chapo Trap House's podcast graphics. So if you, like me, are a dirtbag leftist and have enjoyed the YouTube musings of the Chapo Trap House, you would also enjoy.
Is that what is it a political podcast? I've never heard of that guy before. So
yeah, no, it's like it's a huge Patreon success podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, and I watched a lot of their videos, and I looked down at the bottom like, oh shit, there's this guy, and I just looked him up and emailed him, and then we got our graphics. It's that easy, folks.
Maybe someone will see that on our videos, look down and see that, and it'll just continue.
Yeah, pay it forward. I hope so. I like our graphics.
I do too. By the way, I noticed a new Discord channel popped up this week.
Really? Oh yeah, we had some requests in our Discord. A couple people reached out to me, and also someone just posted in the hashtag. I want to get this right. Yeah, we have hashtag GameDevGeneral, and they were like, I wish we just had somewhere we could post if we're looking for, like, if we're a programmer looking for an artist, or we're an artist looking for a programmer. And so I created hashtag looking to collab, new channel on the Discord. So if you have a project you're looking for, oh yeah, look at all these messages. People are reaching out, trying to network, trying to find someone who, if they need help on a project, maybe they could team up. So if that interests you at all, you should join our Discord.
So when you're getting interviewed for IGN, you could be like, and they're like, oh, how did this get started? You could be like, oh, greatest Discord ever, CanadianGameDevs.com. And they're like, who's
this Undertale's like, Souls like, roguelite, your new hot indie game. They'd be like, oh, we actually met on Canadian Game Dev's Discord.
Exactly. I could see it now.
Give us the plug. Devin got interviewed by IGN, former writer for the site.
He did.
I remember that. His profile pic for a bit. It was the big red IGN mic.
I think I even threw that on the site because I think it was for Riverbond.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, yo, my man Devin, got to throw him on the site every chance I get.
That's hype.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, let's start with some events. Also something new I'm trying this week, because I've been observing how the other YouTube podcasts do things. And I'm going to start putting timestamps in the YouTube descriptions.
Do you need me to do that, or?
No, because no, it's all good.
All right.
But yeah, our YouTube descriptions are getting more and more useful. Events. I got 3, the same 3 we've plugged last week. But if you missed out last week's show, IGDA, the International Game Developers Association's Winnipeg chapter, is hosting a Games We Love live stream Wednesday. Nope, I want to make sure I got that right. Thursday, July 23rd, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so 5 p.m. Winnipeg time, and you can just tune in and hang out with the IGDA Winnipeg chapter, talk about some games they love. That, again, July 23rd. Go check out IGDA Winnipeg on Twitter for more. Game Dev Atlantic happening this September 18th, 8 to 8 Eastern, and that'll be digital. So even if you're not in the Atlantic game dev community, you could hang out, maybe meet some people.
Nice.
And the day after is Game Devs of Color Expo, which is happening September 19th. There's talks, there's people who are going to be presenting their work, and there's also going to be opportunities for workshops. So that's something to definitely check out. And I will also highlight, even though we've been kind of so-so on covering Ubisoft these past couple weeks, but they're hosting another Black Game Pros Mixer Friday, July 31st, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's going to be a digital event. I'm almost 99% sure. Let me check. Yeah, you can't hold things in person in Toronto still, right?
It's like 10 people or under, so yeah.
You will receive a link to attend the event, yes, via email. So, again, that's Friday, July 31st, 9 to 12 Pacific. That's weird. So that'll be noon to 3 Eastern? Yes.
Yes, 3 hours.
They are hosting talks from Stanley Pierre-Louis, CEO of the Entertainment Software Association. They run E3 every year. Diana Laura, account manager at Ubisoft Massive. Lots of people from Ubisoft Paris.
Ubisoft Massive
Ubisoft
is not Destiny, Division, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of Ubisoft folks speaking here today, and the CEO of the ESA who put on E3.
Oh yeah, they did the Division, Division 2, and a James Cameron Avatar project apparently.
Oh man, wasn't that still in development?
Yeah, I'm just on the.
I've been hearing about an Avatar game forever.
I mean, we've been hearing about Avatar like sequels and stuff forever, ever since like the movie's like that movie's
2009.
Also like, it's also like 10 or more years old, isn't it? Yeah, 2009.
People only cared about Avatar because it had James Cameron's name on it, and it was the first big 3D movie. Other than that,
I was so bored when I watched that movie. It's abysmal. Oh my god! And I didn't watch it in 3D, and it was so annoying dealing with all the people being like, "Oh, you gotta watch it in 3D."
No, you don't. I'm like, no, you don't.
Like 3D won't make it any less fucking boring and stupid.
No, the coolest use of 3D technology I ever saw wasn't even 3D. It was that Sony TV where you had two sets of glasses that made full screen for two different players. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen done with 3D technology, and it wasn't even in 3D.
I never even got to try that out. I think that the coolest 3D thing was just the 3DS, like how you didn't need to do glasses or do anything.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You could just adjust it, and then when they made the new 3DS and they improved the because with the
field of view.
Yeah, with the old 3DS, like you had to basically be directly in the center of it to make it good.
Yeah.
And then I remember the first time I saw that, we went up we were at Cineplex going to watch a movie, and they just had like demos, and I saw that and I was like, oh, this is magic. How do they do this? Like I
so cool.
It was so cool. That was
I did the Sony TV thing at a Best Buy in the States, and that blew my mind.
I remember the first time I saw like 4K, like top notch, like the Flowers like demo thingy that they just have at like different, not the Flowers, the game, just like really nice pictures and stuff. And I was like, this is fucking incredible. But then, I have a 4K TV now, and I've never experienced that because I don't think I got like the right cables and the right like everything. So whatever.
I saw a QLED, which was one of, I think, Samsung's new things.
Oh, yeah.
And when they turn it, like, you don't notice walking up to it, but then they turn it, like, on and off, and you're like, whoa, okay.
Oh, really?
Because it's, like, one above OLED, which was, like, the OG Vita screen, which had really nice color and picture.
Do you have a HDR TV?
Yeah, I have one. And I turned it on and off for, like, God of War and Horizon and stuff.
Does it matter? Do you notice it?
All it really does is the brights are brighter, the darks are darker. So like when you go into darker areas, like you see a lot more detail in the dark, and then when you like the sunset comes up or the sunrise comes up, you can like see more detail into the sun where it might have been more washed out on a non-HDR TV.
Because I brought that up to Heather to get for us to get like HDR TV when the PS5 comes out, and we have a nice like 4K like 60-inch television that we bought like 3 years ago or something like that. No reason to get rid of it other than the fact that it doesn't have HDR, which I just asked you what it is so I don't know. And we don't have we also lost the remote, so we're like coming up with these like little reasons here and there to just like try to justify it to ourselves. But we also have a daughter that needs to go to school and be fed and not die of hunger, so that might
buying a new TV because you lost a remote is like a Seinfeld episode B plot. You know?
I can just Amazon order like a universal remote as well. It's like, and the only, because we have a remote for the sound system, literally the only thing we can't do is our TV now just always defaults to set up Google Chrome. And so we just had to go like onto the TV and press input to like go to HDMI 1 or whatever. And it's only annoying once a day in the morning or whenever we first turn on the TV, and never again.
Yeah.
So,
man. All that to say, those are the events happening in the Canadian Game Dev scene. Check all of those out. We retweet them a lot, so follow us on Twitter at Canada Game Devs, and we post them in the descriptions of wherever you're watching this, even on podcasts or listening, I suppose.
I'm on DMG's website as well, Dames Making Games, and they got some stuff going on in July and August. Like games writing workshop working group is July 23rd, so that's
Thursday as well.
That's Thursday. That's online. There's a July Game Writers Circle plus Social. That's online. That's on Thursday, July 30th. So the next week, they have some August events too. So hit up dmg.to as well, because like everything right now is online. So like you don't have to, if you're in the middle of nowhere in none of it, you can go to these things. Don't worry about it.
With the internet, you got in.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also doing the Game Dev Audio Club first Wednesday of every month, so that'll be coming up. And Dirty Rectangles is doing a speaker series every month, so follow them on twitch.tv/dirtyrectangles. Lots of stuff to do.
Good shit.
I want to plug one job this week. Quill Studios, makers of A Summer in Shiba Inu, are looking for a writer. They have a scene outline mapped out, but they're looking to hire someone to write it. They said via Twitter they're thinking 3,000 Canadian for the project, but could negotiate based on word count. They are looking for someone who's played A Summer with Shiba Inu, obviously, which is out now on consoles and PC. So if you're a writer, check that out. All right, Steve, let's move on to the news. I got
wait.
four stories.
There's one more.
Oh, you got one more job to plug? What do we got?
The Canuck play with Doug Flutie's football. They're also hiring. I'm just loading up now. I forgot to put it on the site because I've been so busy this week. But I was DMing them or whatever. They're still looking for full-time senior Unity game developer, full-time Unity game developer, part-time QA tester. It's 2 weeks right now, and then increase during the final build. They're in Peterborough. I believe they want you. Yeah, all positions are on site in Peterborough office. It's Canuck Play, canuckplay.com/careers. These are the Doug Flutie guys. They've gone. I think this will be their 5th football game, or maybe 4th football game coming out this year. And really passionate fan base too. So check them out, and we'll get that on the site. But we were DMing. They slid into our DMs, and we were.
I made a joke on last week's episode. I feel bad about that. I was like, they're tagging us and stuff, and not buying spots. But I neglected to remember that they are also a patron, I believe. So yes. We should definitely plug that. Yeah. All right, that's it for the job, Steve. Let's move on to the news. I got a few to plug for you this week. I hope you're ready.
Oh, I can't wait.
First up, we briefly touched on this 2 episodes ago, but I want to highlight it fully. Shakedown Hawaii from Vancouver-based VBlank is getting a physical release on Switch, PS4, but also on Wii and Wii U, which might make this the last Wii game, depending on when Just Dance 2021 comes out, ever made physically, or probably ever brought to the Wii, which would be super hype for like a tiny Canadian indie studio to have that honor.
That would be cool. I'm just checking now.
They've been tweeting like how it looks, like on like opening up the Wii menu and like using the pointer to select it from the game thing, and it's like, never thought I'd see my game on a Wii. But I was like, that's so cool.
I'm just looking now to see if Just Dance 2021 has even been announced. I don't think it's been announced.
What was the one we were talking about a few weeks ago then?
Just Dance 2020 was released on the Wii, and that was, but
that's out already, right?
Yeah, they do the same thing as sports games, where it's like the year before is the next one or whatever.
And they haven't announced the 2021, right?
No, not that I can see, which is weird because they just had their Ubisoft thing. So you think, yeah, here's the last couple releases for Wii. Retro City Rampage DX and Shakedown Hawaii is coming out in July, as we're talking. Or it already came out, it looks like. Just Dance 2020 came out November last year. Let's Say in 2019 came out in 2018 in October. Just Dance 2019, Just Dance 2018, Let's Sing 2018, The Voice, Just Dance 2017, Barbie and Her Sisters Puppy Rescue. That goes back to 2015. So Barbie and Her Sisters was the last like non-singing dancing game.
Until Shakedown Hawaii.
Until Shakedown Hawaii. There you go. So
that's amazing. If you have a Wii and want to play Shakedown Hawaii in beautiful 720p, definitely head over to their site, pick up one of those copies. I checked as of recording July 19th, and they were still available for purchase. So,
do you still have your Wii?
I have my Wii U, but I sold my Wii when I got my Wii U.
Oh, but you can play... Yeah, you could still...
I can play it, yeah.
You
boot up the Wii U, like, UI inside of the Wii U.
Yeah, isn't it just like a Wii? Like, they just basically put a Wii into the game?
Yeah, like the Wii is an app on the Wii U screen. You click that, and then it opens the Wii itself.
I'm adding Shakedown Hawaii to my wish list on PS4 if you want to play the sound.
I'll play the sound.
Nice.
Next bit of news today... After I write this down. I'm trying a new setup this week, Steve, because my keyboard's really loud, so I was like, oh, I'll use my laptop to do all the typing so it's not super annoying.
I feel like do you want me to be doing the... But I also type loud, too, so I don't know. We can't wait.
No, it's fine.
Do you want me just to say the next thing?
The next thing is Rainbow Six Siege Collegiate League announced. This is, of course... coming after they announced the new North American Pro League at the end of last year. Colleges from across North America will have the chance to compete in a Rainbow Six Collegiate Championship sponsored by Corsair. It kicks off this month, launch in partnership with Faceit, the world's leading platform for competitive gaming, operating the program as part of the new North American ecosystem. There will be intramural matches, viewing parties, and live events. There will be club members with teams. It looks like the final schools will face off for a chance to earn a $30,000 prize pool, which, as a former post-secondary attending student, sounds pretty nice. You'll also win there will be, it says, additional hardware prizes, including cutting-edge PCs and Corsair peripherals. So the preseason for that starts in October, and the full season begins January 2021. But the league is up and running now if you want to compete. Ubisoft is offering full, unique esports programs to players of all skill levels. The collegiate program is our chance to get involved with the college community and build a program that focuses on professionalism, fair play, and community growth. Now, if they could translate that to their studio culture, I would be a huge fan. Have you played Rainbow Six Siege? I think we've talked about this.
I played it a little bit. I was pretty casual into it, you know?
60 million registered players, they said in their Ubisoft Forward last week.
Which, it's so weird because they've also announced that they're not doing any more DLC or any more new operatives for it and stuff.
Well, that's because they're waiting for Rainbow 7 Siege.
Well, it's
or whatever. What do you think? Rainbow Six Siege 2?
Yeah,
maybe because there's two numbers in the name. I don't like that. They'll do something.
Well, it doesn't matter what you like.
That's true. Because I would have called it Splatoon. Put the 2 in it instead of Splatoon 2.
I know.
That would have been so funny, Steve.
Actually, if they're, I bet you what they'll do is they'll just call it Rainbow Six.
Yeah. No, because isn't Rainbow Six like a series?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what they. I think. Well, what was the very first one called? Because I'm referring to how God of War. It's just called.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it's there's Rainbow. There will be Rainbow Six 1998, or as you say, Rainbow Six bracket 1998 close bracket, and they'll do Rainbow Six bracket 2022.
2021. Yeah, bracket.
Well, there is Rainbow Six Quarantine, but that's just the PvE thing, right? That's not.
Yeah, there was the zombie mode they added last E3 or 2 E3s ago.
Weird that they just don't make that an additional part of Siege. It's going to be its own game, I guess. I don't know. But Rainbow Six Siege is over 5 years old at this point, or 5 years old at this point. So.
And it had a rough launch, Steve. I don't know if you remember that launch, but it was bad.
I don't remember it. I had to, because I got into Rainbow Six maybe a year ago, and I had the disc. And actually, it's stupid. The most interesting thing about Rainbow Six Siege to me is the fact that they completely changed their trophy list. It's a completely different list.
Like Overwatch.
Yeah, but from my understanding, Overwatch just kind of tinkered with some of the requirements as like people's like abilities had changed. Rainbow Six Siege literally like there was a lot of like the single player trophies, and they just got rid of those, and everything how it has to do with like online stuff.
Interesting.
But if you have the disc, you can put it in the disc and like not update it and still get the trophies based off the old requirements, and then you'll just get the because the trophies have to map like 1-to-1. Because you can't add new trophies to the base game, so they just like it's very strange. But I remember like being so confused. But anyways, that's the most interesting thing to me because I'm an idiot. But
you're not an idiot. You're a trophy aficionado.
There you go. But I enjoyed Rainbow Six. I definitely didn't get into it that much. Like it was just fine. Like I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it, but it was fun. I don't see the appeal of it, but obviously I'm the minority of that because like you said, 60 million nerds love this shit. So.
Yeah, it's a huge scene. Especially, I was just amazed by how many people were there to see Rainbow Six at EGLX last year because they had their big tournament there.
By the way, I kind of started digging into like old release games, and the Wii U has actually had since January 24th, 2019, has had maybe like 15 or so games released that all don't have any Wikipedia pages. So I'm guessing they're just like sort of indie games. I don't recognize any of these developers either.
I know Axiom Verge got a Wii U physical release, I think, or maybe it was canceled. I remember reading a story about it. And they have brought every single Shovel Knight like content update to the Wii U, which is
they really?
in 3DS.
That's pretty good.
That's where they got started. You got to keep it up for the OG fans.
Sega Genesis got a game in March of 2019.
Was that the one that was developed in the UK? Tanglewood or something?
It's called Ultra Core.
Oh, maybe something else then.
Maybe it's kind of a few games. I remember. Oh yeah, Tanglewood actually was in 2018.
Oh, okay, that's another one then.
Yeah, because like they come to other things. Actually, this Tanglewood game only came to PC, Dreamcast, and Sega Genesis. I'm like, what?
Like, wow. Well, Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl, developed here in Nova Scotia, has an NES cart you can put into an NES and play it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's technically an NES game released in 2020 that you can play on an NES.
I wonder if it's on the list of the Wikipedia page. We can add it.
Yeah, we can. I've added so many. I've done a lot of Wikipedia-ing.
Oh really? I've never actually added it.
I made one for my professor in university just because he didn't have one, and I thought it was funny. But since I got into it, I've like done a bunch of game ones. I've added to like the 2020 in gaming, which is like my most visited Wikipedia page is the blank year in gaming that has just the list of everything that happened that year. I've just found it really useful.
No, the NES.
I think I added Super Crush KO to 2019's.
Oh, nice. The NES, the last game they have for NES is Wario Woods in December 10th, 1994, which is crazy. That's like
incorrect.
That's less than 2 years from the 64, and Nintendo released
incorrect.
It is.
Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl.
We'll go update it.
I will. Next bit of news today, Steve. In a announcement you found particularly humorous, Rogue Legacy 2 has been delayed from Toronto-based game studio Cellar Door Games. They used a football analogy.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes. Wait, I should find the actual.
Yeah.
And read it out because you thought it was funny, and it went over my head because I'm
good times here. I found it. It wasn't an easy decision, but we were delaying the early access launch of Rogue Legacy 2 from July 23rd to August 18th, so a bit less than a month. Game development is a lot like football. It's weird, unpredictable, and we don't know the rules. And just like football, when you get the ball, sometimes you've got to run with it. While stabilizing the game for launch, we've run into some minor setbacks, but most importantly, some features got so close to completion that we just absolutely had to see them through. This means more content, more stability, more bang for your buck come launch day. In our opinion, the game is already good, but these few extra weeks will help us turn this football into a home run. Thanks, sports fans.
That's not how that works at all. You don't turn a football. Okay, that's okay. Even I know that one, but that's fine. It's cute. I like what they're doing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Delaying the game is like it's just like whatever at this point. There's always things to play. It's also it's less than a month. But I'm surprised. Like you know more about the Steam ecosystem than I do, but like it's early access. Like I figured people would still be kind of okay with.
You do want to make a really good first impression with early access.
True.
So, and that seems to be what they're doing here. I wonder if there is any worry, because the closer you get to the fall, you're competing with the big games, you know? So,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're maybe, like, obviously you want to work on the game forever. Like, if it was up to the developers when they were happy with it, no game would ever come out. But I wonder if maybe they had originally wanted to do in the fall, but they're we can't compete with that. So, like, what do we want to get into early access launch? What don't we? And they just made that call. Because delaying less than a month is not a lot of time in game development.
Yeah, there's not really much you can do in, you know, the 4 weeks that they gave themselves, or 4.5 weeks. I'm just trying to see, because I know in early access they usually say like how long early access will be.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to
It's
see.
on Steam and Epic, so it'll probably say on the Steam page, because Steam makes you fill out like a questionnaire.
Sometime in 2021. So they expect to be in early access for, I mean, at least 5 months, but probably more than 5 months. But I mean, yeah, cool. It's always good to. It's always better to delay a game than release it like really shitty, or whatever. But it's always disappointing. But you know, at the same time, it's just like how many games do you have on your Steam library that you can just play in the meantime?
Well, I bought that Itch.io bundle, so like 4,000.
Oh, did you actually do the Black Lives Matter one?
I did both, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, same. I forgot I have that.
Yeah, you have 4,000 games you could play if you ever wanted to, Steve.
And I have games on there that I will most certainly buy on PS4. So,
if you put an hour into every one of those games, just an hour, and you paid $5, that's. Don't make me do math. Hold on.
Well, I didn't make you do anything. You just started to do it.
Yeah, I started doing math myself. That would take you 167 days, playing 24/7 to play all those games at least an hour.
Okay, wait. Is it actually how many games actually?
I think it's like 3,000
My
something.
purchase. Oh,
but
when I go under my purchases, it's literally just all. Oh wait, bundles. Can I see? Bundle for racial justice and equality. Yeah. How many games were in here? Doesn't say the amount of games, but it does say there's 59 pages, and looks like there's a lot that I don't want to count out. So
that's fine. You got a lot of games. Point being, we're no shortage of games, so Cellar Door, take your time. A delayed game is disappointing once. A bad game is disappointing forever.
That's not really true anymore, though. But yeah.
No, it's not, because they had No Man's Sky, Rainbow Six Siege. Like really, like that. Yeah, it's out of date.
Totally.
We need a new one.
Call up Miyamoto. Just be like, yo, I know you guys.
Miyamoto,
I know you guys don't really care about patching and online stuff, but most other developers
patch the quote. Patch your quote. Your quote's disappointing now. All right, Steve, last bit of news today. Marvel Avengers. You might have heard of it. It's being developed in Quebec. That's where Tony Stark was born, actually.
Really?
I don't know if that's true.
No, I don't
made
think
that up.
I
think he's born in the U.S. somewhere. Had a big live stream thingy, pseudo E3 conference, because that's what everyone's doing now.
Yeah.
Where they announced multiple betas, Steve. All right, let me pull up the deets here for you. All right, so there will be a beta on August 7th for those of you who pre-order on PlayStation 4. A week later on August 14th for those who pre-order on Xbox One and PC, at which point the PS4 users will move into an open beta, and then a final weekend of beta testing on all platforms on August 21st. So the only way, the fastest way to play it is to pre-order on PS4, but it's an open beta for everyone else on the 14th, which is when we'll probably play it.
Yeah.
It's coming out on PS4, Xbox One, PC, Stadia, September 14th, 2 weeks before the last beta. And it's also confirmed for PS5 and Xbox Series X with no release date yet. There's no confirmed cross-play, but Square Enix did confirm the cross-generational play between PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X. And I'm assuming like Stadia, Steam, you know?
Yeah, and you'll be able to upgrade to the PS5 and Xbox Series X game for free as well.
They'll just give it to you?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because I think really the only people that have confirmed they're not doing that is 2K or whatever.
Friggin' 2K. So Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be $79.99 on PS5, right?
Have they said that? I don't know.
I don't know.
The online will be, they said, is free, like in
for PS Plus
or whatever. No, I don't think.
If you have PS Plus.
Oh, did they?
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, and then everyone who logs in every month until then gets $1 million GTA bucks, and then the game itself is the online's free for PS Plus. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, wait.
I don't want to lie to you though.
They say the standalone version of online will be available for free on PlayStation 5 for the first 3 months after release, according to the Wikipedia page.
Wow, so then it'll cost money?
Yeah, I don't know, because
that's weird.
It's safe to say that Rockstar does not give a flying shit about the single player campaign of Grand Theft Auto.
Not at all. Not at all.
I guess like they just haven't really. They just said it's going to be free for the first 3 months. I thought it was actually free. Like it's just going to be their free to play game. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So NBA is really the only one that has said like this will be more money, like when we sell it to you. Fucking deal with it. Which I have an interesting theory about, by the way, when we talk about the games we've been playing.
Okay.
But Marvel's Avengers, I'm getting a little hyped for this. I don't know. It's definitely.
Do you want me to read the pitch to you? I know you've seen the trailers and stuff, but for those listening.
Yeah, sure. Because they went over some more of the story and stuff like that, and some of the gameplay and stuff. But yeah, go over the pitch. Do your voice.
Let me drop the deets, Steve. They consider Marvel's Avengers a third-person action game. Pretty obvious from the trailers. Mm-hmm. There is a regular solo campaign where players rotate between heroes depending on the mission, and a cooperative-focused multiplayer campaign. Mm-hmm. The single player is called Hero Missions, and the cooperative missions are called Warzone. Warzone missions come in many different flavors: Iconic, Faction, Drop Zone, Vault, Hive, Villain. Those don't mean a whole lot to me yet, but I assume Villain is like a boss fight, probably.
Probably, yeah.
It won't be necessary to play with others to do the cooperative missions. However, they will put an AI-controlled hero in there instead. And a huge part of the game revolves around customizing your playable heroes, both with visual and functional, like their abilities and skills. They said they are, quote, lots of skins to unlock and gear to collect, divided into the usual rarity categories that you've seen in, like, Destiny or Apex, where it's like white, green, blue, purple, gold.
Get that credit card ready, y'all.
Get that. It's going to have microtransactions, too, so not super jazzed about that, considering it's a full-price game.
I think they also said that there will be like new bosses and new stuff released for free. So they're going that route with like, you know,
like it's a bit of both.
Yeah, like the deal, like it's going to be the thing that games have been doing lately, where the cosmetics are paid. Maybe some cosmetics are paid, some are like you got to unlock, but then like, you know, new missions, new bosses, new heroes and stuff like that will be free and added to the game. So you don't like, you know, you don't partition the player base or whatever.
It feels a little messy to me. Like either make it free to play and do these microtransactions, or make it all earnable in game, which they didn't say it's not, I guess. Or did they say some content will be only purchasable?
I'm just going over the Wikipedia page right now. Game will, like, costumes have been sourced from all corners of the Marvel universe, quote, and it can be bought separately as DLC. So I don't.
But that doesn't mean you can't earn them, right?
Yeah.
I assume we'll hear about that like in the week or two before, when the press is playing it.
Once the beta like opens up, people kind of usually data mine that shit. Although I guess I don't know, can you data mine it if it's on PS4? I don't know. They usually figure it out, because that's what happened when I guess it was Star Wars Battlefront 2 like released like a week early for people who pre-ordered like the expensive version, and then that's when everyone
lost their minds.
Yeah, they're just like, this, you have to play a shit ton of hours to get Vader.
The heroes all have separate skill trees, allowing for widely different playstyles. Developers said you can even turn Hulk into a ranged character. Interesting.
The clap Do you ever watch the old Hulk show from like the 70s or whatever?
Lou Ferrigno?
No, like the cartoon.
Oh no.
There's one where he just like literally just the animation is just him clapping, and then it's just the sound just destroys everything in front of him.
That's amazing.
So I wonder if it's that.
Oh man. I assumed it was like, because I like Marvel vs. Capcom, like one of his moves is he like rips up concrete and throws it, so probably
it's probably
something like that. The story takes place at the height of the popularity of Earth's Mightiest Heroes during A-Day celebration in San Francisco, the opening of the second Avengers HQ. Terrorists led by the Taskmaster strike and managed to destroy the Golden Gate Bridge. Jesus Christ, how many times, Steve, has the Golden Gate Bridge been destroyed across every media possible? Over 1,000, you want to say?
1,000?
Yeah, I would say, like, if you count like books, TV, movies, games.
I'm blanking. I can think of I can think of X-Men 3. And it happened.
Godzilla.
Oh, the new. I didn't watch the new Godzillas.
Actually, I don't know if it's the new one. I just made that up.
Oh. Godzilla's always in New York.
My point is, wrecking the Golden Gate Bridge as the opening for your game is like cliche city.
Because you can't have them fucking destroying buildings now because of 9/11. So you got to destroy things where.
People need to get over that. It was 20 years ago.
Still iconic. You got to destroy something that's iconic still, but doesn't have that many people on it.
No, I'm not a big fan of hashtag never forget. I'm on hashtag get over it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's probably gonna get someone into trouble, but yeah, no, it's we can break movies wait, there was Superman Man of Steel. He levels like the whole city. They estimate like 30 million people died or something.
And oh yeah,
Man of Steel 1 like and then in
the
next
drill thing or whatever, isn't it?
The drill thing?
I
think so.
Isn't there like some drill like on the other side and then just keeps creating? Yeah, and then that's set up for Batman to hit him.
Yeah, exactly. And then they build that big monument where he saved the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Man of Steel can do it, or maybe that was why it tanked so bad because they.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, people didn't like that. People didn't like that Man of Steel thing.
I don't know. Anywho, Avengers, it's coming out in September. Free upgrade next gen. It's gonna have full price, but also microtransactions. Don't know how I feel about that. They said Marvel's Adventures will receive free updates for a long time with new regions, story arcs, and new playable characters. Huge doubt. In my experience with these kind of live service games, if there's not enough of a player base buying microtransactions, and obviously they haven't laid out a roadmap or anything that someone can hold them accountable to, but there are definitely like multiple plans for like depending on the success of the game, how long these get content for. So I would caution anyone who's like, oh, this is my like next 5 years game, it's gonna be like Destiny 2. Like no. If the game does well, they'll keep making stuff for it. But yeah, it looks pretty. I think it's weird releasing it after like a year and a half after Endgame, but
I know this. Yeah, it should have came out so much sooner. I'm getting kind of hyped up though for it. Like I'm a big fan of the MCU. It's really the only movies that I really kind of watch. I'm not a big movie guy, so I just really like all these superheroes, and I don't read the comics or whatever. So I'm just kind of, what was the last superhero, like Marvel superhero game that I played? Spider-Man, I guess. So I'm kind of
Spider-Man bracket, 2018 bracket.
Yeah, that would have been 2 years by now. So I'm excited to dive into this world again. It's kind of like I'll just wait for the PS5, like for it to come out on PS5, most likely though, unless like it comes out and people are it's getting 9s and 10s and reviews and people are saying it's the bomb and stuff, which I don't think is the case just looking at it. But I'm getting a little hype for it just with everything. Maybe I think the marketing is just getting to me. Is really it.
It has some pretty marketing.
Yeah, I mean it better like it.
It has that wheelchair superhero.
Wheelchair superhero?
Oh, did I make that up? I don't want to make that up. Hold on.
Is there a wheelchair superhero?
I thought I saw. Maybe I was seeing fan art.
Maybe I don't know.
Marvel's.
The only wheelchair person I can think of in superhero is Batman's Oracle girl. And Professor
Marvel's
X.
Avengers will feature a superhero with a disability. Said in a recent blog post that social media manager Megan Marie and game designer Mariah Robinson discussed the studio's efforts to make the game more accessible and inclusive to people with disabilities. The most significant move is the inclusion of a non-playable superhero who uses a wheelchair.
Oh.
The character's name is Cerise. Accessibility specialist Cherry Thompson, who works on accessibility games for Ubisoft, provided the idle motion capture for the character model.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so that's cool. Not playable, but I mean, I guess that would be really hard. But they have money; they could have done. They could have done if they wanted to. I mean, it's great that they have it in there, but how cool would that be? You know, like flying or whatever in a wheelchair. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Well, I remember Professor X was playable in one of the X-Men games, but it was like in his mind, so he wasn't in the wheelchair. He was like just still floating around and stuff. And I was like, oh, whatever.
It's like when you're playing as R2-D2 in the Star Wars games, and he just has like jetpack legs, so he doesn't move so slow. Because they definitely like put R2-D2 in at like normal movie speed, and they're like, this is awful. He needs jetpacks.
Well, you had jetpacks in Revenge of the Sith.
Why couldn't he do any of that in the original trilogy?
I don't know. That's like the joke that they're like, wipe their memories. Oh, also remove all the cool shit from R2-D2.
Amazing. That's it for the news this week. We'll be back with more juicy Canadian game dev news next week. But now, Steve, let's move on to everyone's favorite segment of the show. What is it, Steve?
Wishlist This?
It's Wishlist This. I always say Wishlist this week at the end, and I like try really hard not to stutter, because holy moly, it's a lot of thises, you know. But this week I have 3 games for you to wishlist, and if you don't know, this is a segment every week where I highlight 3 upcoming Canadian-made games you have to add to your wishlist right now. First up, Nuts. Co-developed by several developers, one of them Paul from Montreal, and publishing support from Noodle Cake in Saskatoon. But there's 3 or 4 other developers on this from all over the world: Reykjavik, Berlin, Copenhagen. It's a remote team, but these are the times for remote teams, you know, Steve?
Exactly.
Coming 2021, you can wishlist now on Steam. Quote, a single-player surveillance mystery set in a remote forest. Record the squirrels, report your findings, and uncover the secret that the curious creatures are hiding. So this is essentially that episode of Rick and Morty where he gives Morty the ability to talk to the squirrels, to hear the squirrels. And so he walks outside and starts like pointing it at the squirrels, and the squirrels are like talking about their plans or whatever and like reporting coordinates and stuff. And then the one squirrel's like, hey, that one's looking at us kind of funny. Can he hear us? Like, no, wait, what's that thing he's holding? And then they like start approaching him, and they're like, hey, no, come here, buddy, it's okay. And like Morty starts running away, and it like pans to Rick in the garage, and Morty's running away, and there's like 100 squirrels chasing him. Oh my god. So essentially, you're uncovering a squirrel conspiracy in the woods, but the art style, Steve, is what I really want to talk about, because it's just it's like one solid color on everything, and they're very weird contrasty colors. So I'm like, picture like bright pink on bright purple, bright yellow on bright blue. Like it's a very, very distinct art style.
Yeah, they show
the
this
gameplay
here
looks
where,
like
where like the inside is all green, like this really kind of green, and then like the computer is yellow or whatever, like a really bright yellow. Digging it.
So I'm seeing the characters got a little home base here. It's like this little research outpost with like a lawn chair and like your cot. But then there's some TVs, photo development materials, and like a clipboard where you're like putting up the photos. And so you go out into the woods with your camera and like adjust the end to like take pictures of the squirrels. An adventure in squirrel surveillance. And then at the very end of the trailer, all the squirrels like rush onto your like research station and like look at you. So something's going on here, Steve. The squirrels are sentient, and they are planning something.
I believe it.
I love this so much. And you know what I have in their Steam page?
I was just about to say this. They have gifts.
They have gifts, and they're amazing. I love them. It was a finalist at Amaze Berlin 2020. Wow, that would have been like earlier this year. It was an official selection at the Day of the Devs, and it was part of the official selection at EGX, not EGLX, EGX in the UK 2019. So those are some high-profile indie developer showcases. So clearly, the people who know indie games looked at this one and said, hey, this looks pretty cool. And I looked at this and I say, hey, this looks pretty cool. So I have to ask Steve, is Nuts on your Steam wish list?
It is. I got it. Yes. Planned release date 2021. By the way, I don't know if you said that.
I think I did, but that's okay. Bears repeating. Excellent. Next game on wish. Oh, I didn't ask you. What are you thinking about the Steam page? Of what are you seeing? What do you like?
I'm liking it. No, everything that you said. I agree with the color, the art style. Like, I kind of want to know. Like, they piqued my interest of just like, what the hell are these squirrels up to? Like, I'm kind of interested in like how the story, they say an immersive story with full voice acting. So I'm kind of interested like if it's just you in the woods talking to someone, or like if you're a partner, and if there's any sort of like kind of gameplay like that where one person's out in the field and one person's back in the thing. Like, I'm kind of interested in that, but like in general, just like kind of amazed by the premise of just like, what are these squirrels up to?
Yeah, man, it's like the Firewatch revolved around a conspiracy too, where you're like radioing in and stuff.
I still got to play Firewatch. I haven't played it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Easy,
but like, so
easy 100%. So
it's like 4 trophies. You just beat the game. But yeah, so like Firewatch, you're like unraveling this conspiracy in the woods around you, like as you're playing, and so this gives me those kind of vibes, but with squirrels.
Yeah.
So better. All right, Steve. Enough of that. Next game I want to highlight for you today: Citywars Savage by O1 Studios in Quebec. You can wishlist it on Steam. It's coming soon. They have a Patreon, actually, with a lot of backers who are funding part of the development of this game. Citywars Savage is an indie MMORPG. Explore the worlds, gather resources to create tools and weapons, enchant your items to protect yourself from the enemies scattered throughout the worlds, and learn interesting backstories to each creature presented through an amazing quest line. So, the art style is kind of blocky. It's giving me like Roblox vibes, but not quite as like there's rounded shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting the vibe of like Minecraft-y graphics mixed with like basically a RuneScape. I don't know if you ever played RuneScape. It might be a bit.
I did play RuneScape.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting, because it looks like everyone's just sort of like cutting down trees and shit like that, and battling monsters and stuff. I'm down.
But it's in like MMO, so you're doing all this with other people.
Yeah.
It looks like you got a little party here, and you're like going into areas to like kill monsters and farm supplies.
Ooh, one of the tags was investment too, so I'm down with that. You know what?
Go to the bottom of the Steam description. One of the GIFs you can reprogram, and there's like a visual scripting UI. You can program NPCs to like start grinding for you.
Oh, that's
like,
amazing.
That's something I've never seen really in any.
That looks just
game?
like Dreams too. The
visual scripting thing.
Yeah, it looks just like how Dreams does it. That's really cool actually. So you get like your little dudes to help you out, but it goes a little bit farther of just like you can actually tell them what to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So you could say like you want them, like instead of setting them at one spot and just leaving them there, you could have them like rotate different things you're trying to accumulate, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, like I'm not crazy about like the blocky Minecraft-y graphics. Like that's just a personal preference. Like I've never really kind of found it like appealing to me, but everything else about this I'm down with.
Being developed and published by O1 Studios, coming soon. No real release date beyond that, but they have a Patreon you can go check out. For $15 a month, you can help support the developers, and I think that gets you like special access to something. I forgot to check.
Yeah, it does say this is free to play as well, so
it's has online PvP and co-op, so there'll be modes where you can fight your friends or randos. Yeah, this is ambitious, Steve. Any indie studio who tries to do an MMO RPG, because like the reason MMOs are usually done by like Bethesda or Blizzard are because they're incredibly hard and expensive and require so much infrastructure that I'm really impressed. But you know, you're also a little skeptical of an indie studio's ability to do that. But if they can pull this off, and from the GIFs, it looks like they're pulling it off. That's huge.
Yeah, It looks cool. I'm down.
I gotta ask Steve, is it on your wish list?
It is.
Awesome. Last game today on Wish List This. Drumroll, please, Steve. Stack Squatch by Jay Scott in, quote, the Canadian Northwest, unquote. Couldn't find more data than that, but that's okay. Jay Scott doesn't want to be found, and maybe we shouldn't find him.
Sounds like Canadian Northwest. You don't want to be found, so.
Yeah, you moved up there to work on games, so you probably don't want people knocking on your door asking for a job.
Exactly.
It's releasing next month, and it's got a cute premise. I'm gonna do the voice.
Very cool.
Sit back and stack with Dogtective in a colorful floating world of cryptids in this VR action puzzle game. So, Steve, it's a VR game. It's got kind of like toy box vibes, like the way you're kind of stacking things in the middle of the room that are like have weird geometries, like you're putting teacups on an apple on some dice. You're trying to like make sure it doesn't fall over, and then it looks like locks in place when you've got it where you want it. If you have standing room or sitting, you can play both, or room scale if you want to like run all the way around the thing you're stacking. So it supports a lot of different VR setups. I know several people who have standing or room scale, and so being able to accommodate both is key. It does require VR. You can't play this without VR. But play as Dogtective. Sit back, relax, and stack. What do you think, Steve?
I'm down. It's actually coming to itch.io as well. So like, if it's on itch.io, like, what VR does it?
Oh,
use?
it also just runs VR. Like the studio I worked at put a VR game on itch.io, and what they either do is just run it also through like a VR launcher. Like you have to have Steam VR open for the Vive to work,
right?
Or you just get a Steam key when you buy it.
Just get a Steam code, yeah, true. It's giving me. Did you ever play? What was it? It was like Boom Blocks or whatever on Wii.
Yes.
Yeah, it's giving me that vibes because there's even a part where looks like you're kind of destroying some stuff, and I'm always down to destroy stuff and like environmental destruction and things. It's got the cuteness stuff going. I don't have the PSVR anymore. I would think that this game could very easily run on PSVR. Hopefully, this does well on Steam and itch.io and stuff, that they move it to PSVR. Mm-hmm. Let's see, it's early access. What's the, I always like to see how long it's going to be in early access, but I don't see that. Oh, Q1 2021, so.
Less than a year.
Yeah, I'm down.
It'll be playable through Steam, VR, and Oculus VR, so if you have both, you can do that. He says in the top, I have several features that I need to implement before I call the game done, TM. I would also like to guide that with community feedback and popularity. So, yeah. Develop Stack Squatch Society. You can follow them on Twitter at Stack Squatch. It's just Stack and then Squatch. And Jay Scott's on Twitter at A Kindly Orc. And I went through a couple of their tweets. I enjoyed it.
And they have a Discord, too.
They do have a Discord. Every good game has a Discord now, Steve.
Will the game be priced differently during and after early access? Not unless I did something terribly wrong.
Oh no. I mean, that's good. There's the transparency.
Yeah. It looks good. It's making me miss VR. Like, I kind of, every now and then I see these VR games kind of come in. Darth Vader VR game too. I think the last Taxi game that we discussed last time with the weird conspiracy thingy. Kind of missing my VR a little bit, but
that's okay, Steve. You'll get a PSVR 2 whenever they come out.
Hopefully it's the thing, yeah.
I gotta ask Steve, is Stack Squatch on the wish list?
That it is.
Excellent. Even though you can't play it, we're gonna help out
of course.
those burgeoning, is that the right word? Burgeoning indie developers?
I don't know. Is it?
Blossoming?
Blossoming? I'm fine with that.
I feel like I used burgeoning right. Let me double check.
You might have. I am no one to. I am not the person to, like.
Burgeoning, beginning to grow and increase rapidly. Flourish.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's it for Wish List this week. If you want to get your game onto this amazing, groundbreaking segment that I created, send it to me. Send it contact at CanadianGameNotes.com, Twitter DMs, hop on Discord, email me, Steven at CanadianGameNotes.com or Steve at CanadianGameNotes.com. We want to talk about your game.
Text at 555-240.
787-1111.
I mean,
Call pizza, hey.
what is the Halifax area code? You want
226.
Oh,
but I don't have a Halifax number. I still have an Ontario number.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you. I hate people like you.
The phone rates are cheapest in Canada and Saskatchewan, so there are some people who will like get a Saskatchewan number, just have the cheapest phone plan you could possibly have in Canada.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not noticeably or like not significantly cheap enough that like everyone does it, but it's just cheap enough that like if you're a penny pincher, you could save a lot of money over several years by having a Saskatchewan number.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, Steve, do you have a hot topic this week? Because I don't.
No.
And we said we'd never force it, you know?
Yeah, no, and I don't even think was there any big news this week? Like the Xbox event is happening this week, isn't it?
So at this point, for me, it's a game of chicken between Xbox and PlayStation, whoever announces price and date first. I think Xbox is going to do it. They did it last time. And I think they just, I don't want to say care less, but they've just been a lot more like they sent the Xbox Series X to Digital Foundry, who like took it apart in a video, in May. So I feel like if anyone's going to do it first, it's probably going to be Xbox. They've done it first in the past. They're just very open about the Series X in a way that PlayStation isn't about the PS5.
I just want them to do it so that we can fucking stop like guessing and stuff. Like and like
so that
hearing
you can
all
pre-order
these,
it.
Yeah, and hearing all these rumors. Like the rumor was that this last Monday was that Sony was going to do something, and it's just getting tiring. Like we all know roughly how much it's going to be, and we all know roughly when it's going to come out. I just want to put my goddamn money down so I can like start getting excited for this thing instead of just like being up in the air. But I do have a continuation of the previous hot topic that also plays into like what we've been playing.
Okay, let's do that. Hit me.
So I've been playing NBA 2K20, and we were discussing it because they increased the price for the next gen, and part of it, I believed, past tense, was like the whole inflation stuff, and I'm now retracting all that shit I said, because what did I see? So what is one of the big things that they said why it's $10 more, right? They said no loadings, and that's like a big marketing thing for these games. Like no loading screens, like everything will be super fast. You'll start playing your shit in 2 minutes or 2 seconds. We saw Spider-Man like load up in half a second, blah blah blah. What does NBA 2K20 do during these loading screens? They show me a car ad, just a straight up like YouTube car ad. And Heather was like doing the dishes, and she was just like, "Was that an ad for like a car?" And I was like, "Oh my god, yes, it was." And this game is already filled to the brim with ads because it's sports, right? Like it's like I'm sponsored by Nike and all this shit, and like there's Gatorade shit, and that's already like really annoying. But this was just straight up like the ad you would see before a YouTube channel, maybe even this YouTube like video of just like an like thing, and I'm like, oh, that's why they're doing it, because they won't be able to show you these ads in their 2-second video, like loading. Like that's the reason. I refuse to believe anything else differently, because it just makes sense. Like this game is already, I don't know if you've played any of these NBA games, but this one is just like to the brim of just microtransaction shit. Like it's so annoying. And now, and I don't know if you remember, like I think it was 2 years ago, like this website basically gave the game like a 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 because they said this game is like a 10 out of 10, but like it's just ruined with all this greedy shit. And I totally see what they mean, because once I'm in the game and playing, I'm having a ball. But like everything else around it, I'm just like, this is so fucking annoying. Like it's so intrusive and just brutal, and it's like there's a way you can do this stuff correctly, and like they're not doing it. And when I saw that ad, I was like, oh, that's why it's $10 more. Like, no doubt, because they do all the, and like I haven't seen the ad that much. Like there's maybe been 50 to 60 loading screens of just going into games and stuff like that. I maybe seen the ad twice, but it's still there. And when it's not that, they do like they have like a 2K like TV thing where they just have like people playing games and discussing stuff, and you can stay to watch it if you want. It's like esports shit, like it's a market. It's a way to market their own brand during it. And I'm like, that's why this shit is there. That's why it's $10 more, because like they won't be able to do this anymore. And good, because it's fucking so annoying. And
they'll find a way.
I'm sure they will. What's more annoying is that my friend who loves this game is moving to Vancouver, and he wants me to like get the next one to play with him. I'm just like, oh my god, these games though.
Would you get it on PS5 or PS4?
I would get it on PS5 for sure. That's the thing.
Oh man,
and that's my conundrum. I'm just like, so I'm going to try to guilt him to just buy it for me.
But the other thing about definitely do that if you can. But I was going to say, the other thing about these sports games is they drop so fast. Like,
they do.
And they're also bundled with a lot of consoles. So, like, my friend got NHL 19, like, a month after it came out, because it was someone who bought the PS4 bundle but didn't want it. And he got it sealed for, like, $40, like, a month after it came out. So, like, if you just watch, like, Kijiji and Marketplace for, like, the month after this game comes out, you could save, like, half the price of the game.
Yeah, he said he wanted to give me, like, send me $40 to spend. Because, like, your character starts at like 60 overall, which is just trash. And I've been playing, I'm maybe 15 games in the season. I'm like 73 overall, and I'm doing decent. And I've played like other modes and stuff for like for $20, which is not a lot of money. You can get up to like 80, 85 overall. So they make the entry,
pay to win.
Yeah, they make the entry like super, super cheap. And it's just so annoying. My friend's been like, I'll give you money to buy VC. And I'm like, dude, I'm not, like, if you give me money, I'm buying Uber Eats or something. Like, I'm not I'm not buying this VC. I'm just gonna grind it out. Like, it's so pay to win. And I played NHL 20. I played a decent amount of it, and it obviously has that shit, but like, it's not as intrusive. Like, NHL 20, or sorry, NBA 2K20 is just like a different beast. Like, it's in a whole nother world. And yeah, I basically take back everything I said about like inflation, all that shit, because that was a bunch of garbage. Like, it's totally just because the loading screens are a revenue generator for them.
I mean, for NBA, I would give you that, but I do think we are within a year or two going to see a slight increase.
I think so too, in general.
Like, the cross-buy makes a lot of sense, and that's obviously a very nice player-friendly thing for Xbox has been pushing so hard. But as soon as they're past that like initial release on last and current gen, it's just like, who's going to be the first one to do it? Because then you're the bad guy. And I mean, NBA is doing it, but like, NBA is already the bad guy. I think a lot of people have a lot of not great feelings towards 2K.
Yeah.
And NBA 2K in particular. So like, what's the first like Sony first party game or Xbox first party game?
See, I think
like Ubisoft.
I think we'll actually see it. Yeah, I think we'll see it from third parties first, actually, because they're the ones who are losing like 30% to every sale, right? Sony doesn't lose, like, Ghost of Tsushima comes out, like,
they get 100%.
They get 100% of it. Like, the 30% that would normally go to Sony is just going back to Sony. So like, they don't.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the deals are different between different studios, because like, if Naughty Dog has a different deal with Sony, do they get more of the cut of their game than like a later game to join?
I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters because they're fully owned by Sony, so it doesn't, like, the revenue that Uncharted 4 brings in, I don't think matters at all to Naughty Dog does have an accountant, basically. Like, it doesn't matter how much they bring in, except for like bonuses and shit that kind of get released.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I bet, because like, then why do Sony studios close? Because they obviously rely on the success of their games in some way. Yeah,
because they see that, Zipper Interactive closed after making Unit 13. Like, these games didn't sell, and it just became too expensive to run the team. But I don't think any money is going back to Naughty Dog, other than just like, when they say, hey, we want to hire this many people, and be like, okay, here's your budget, sort of thing. Whereas
I definitely think there is. I bet it's different per studio too, because we're seeing some studios put their games on Steam, whereas others aren't.
True.
So
well,
I think it is.
Did you reach out to the Last of Us people? You can ask them.
No, I didn't email them yet.
Okay.
I should. Could ask, like, dude, Who pays for the potted plants at Naughty Dog? Is it you guys or is it Sony?
Is it Yoshida? Is it
who stocks the fridge? Does the Shuhei show up with a cooler and just put some beers in the fridge? What happens?
I can't remember any of the people, the figureheads at Sony anymore.
It wasn't
Jack or
oh, they've all left it. I one of the IGN Unfiltered interviews was with one of them, and I watched like the
Jim Ryan. That's the person I was just thinking of. Jim Ryan has left, hasn't he, or is he still there? Or?
Yeah, a bunch of them have left, and one of the founded by Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin in 1984. And acquired by Sony in 2001.
That's Naughty Dog?
Yeah.
Are they still there? They're probably making bank then.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, definitely if they are still making bank, I don't know if they're still there, though. That's all on the side. I think there is like a per studio... Like, this is all so in the weeds that I don't know how many people actually care about this, but I feel like if your game does well, you have a bigger pot, you draw more into the studio to use for studio stuff. Because, like, Insomniac just opened a whole new studio. Like, they moved offices last year, so, like, they must have had... Whether Sony, like, gives them permission to do that, or they're just looking at their own numbers and being like, alright, we can do this now.
I gotta imagine that it's Sony being like, you can do this. Because it's just, like, the bigger brother giving little brother, like, the allowance or whatever. The parents giving... the kid allowance, just being like, all right, you guys had a good year, you released whatever, and this is your budget for the year, it lets you expand, you don't have blah blah blah. Like, I think it's like that. Like, I look at it as the like how I work at a department in a company. I just see it as that, except for the department's like an actual company, but it's fully owned and paid for. So, like, if Last of Us 2 sells 1 copy versus 10 million copies, Naughty Dog has nothing to say about that. It's just Sony that's going to make a decision based off those numbers, not Naughty Dog.
But then, like, sometimes studios leave. Like, Bungie left Xbox despite being a subsidiary.
I don't think Bungie owns... Did they own?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Xbox Game Studios owned Bungie for, like, 10 years and then left. They left?
Yeah, I mean, you could always kind of buy out, like... During certain cases, you can always kind of buy out like your ownership or whatever, or whatnot.
In October 1st, 2007, Bungie announced they were splitting off from their parent company, Microsoft, and becoming a privately held LLC.
Yeah, so they must have raised some capital to basically just do that, to just say we're going to buy this stuff. That's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I guess it's just like...
That's a little too inside baseball.
Yeah, like I've never worked at a AAA studio or managed a AAA studio. I'm just thinking of how I kind of look at it, like with the work I've done and the teams that I've been a part of. But I've always worked at like tech startups, so I don't even know what it's like to work at a company that's fully owned by like another company. But basically what I'm saying is I think a third party will be the first to kind of raise the prices because they're the ones who are losing, more towards Sony and Microsoft and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, and I think in some way that's totally warranted, like for these bigger, higher quality games. So like, and everyone uses Cyberpunk as the example, but they could totally charge $100 for that game, and I think like that's probably what that game's worth.
Yeah.
If all things are to be believed, whereas like, if you try to charge 100, I mean, they already do like 10 different versions of every Ubisoft game, but like if the lowest edition of Far Cry 6 was like $99.99, I'd be like, I don't feel like you've done enough to push, like just based on the past 10 years of your games, I don't think this will be enough pushing the envelope to warrant that. But yeah, someone's gonna do it. It's a game of chicken for who increases the standard price of their games and whoever announces the PS5 or Xbox price first.
Yeah, I wonder if EA was just like high-fiving each other when Take-Two announced that NBA would be $10 more. Be like, yeah,
Have they announced any of the EA games are getting the like free upgrade?
I think they said Madden. The next Madden will be. I don't know about FIFA, but I feel like that was one of the things, at least on Xbox, Madden will, you'll get the best version. But like we've mentioned before, like it's kind of confusing where it's like, do you just get the benefit of, there's going to be a patch. Like, do you get the patch for free, or do you just kind of get like the added bonus of like a more powerful like thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So but I believe, let me just, I'm trying to find like Madden 21 where it says.
Because then would you buy NHL 2021 on PS4 and get the free upgrade?
I don't know. See, the thing with me in sports games is like I usually just wait like 2 or 3 years in between, so it feels like a big significant thing. So
That's
like
smart.
NHL 20 I loved because the last one I played was NHL 17. And I'm like, oh, they actually put quite a bit of stuff in here. So I don't know. That's the thing, because like anytime I see people getting mad about like the gameplay of these games, it's like they haven't changed anything. I'm like, of course they haven't changed anything. What what do you expect? These games are made in like 7 months. Like what? Like I don't know.
It's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. So Madden 21 will be available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X upon the release. As previous, the next installment would be okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there isn't like a free upgrade. They're just getting released on Xbox One or Xbox Series X and PS5.
All right, Steve. That's enough hot takes for the week. I'm gonna call it there. Last segment, Steve. Why don't you tell me what you've been playing?
I didn't get a chance to play that much this week, but I did mention NBA 2K20, fucking garbage. We've both been playing 3,720 to 1.
Yes, I want to beat the developer.
I know.
Dan Curie? I don't want to get your name wrong, but they got to 80 parsec, and my current high score is 52. So I can do it. It gets fast, too, which is tricky.
It does.
For those who don't know, 3,720 to 1, the odds that C-3PO gave in Empire Strikes Back, is a new like kind of endless runner spaceship asteroid style game, and I've been enjoying it. It's free, and you can buy some ships, but you can also earn the ships in game. So
yeah, it's been my kind of like go-to game to play here and there or whatever, while just kind of lying on the couch or whatever. I've been enjoying it. I'm not that. I think I got to like 30 or 40. I'm not good at it. So you guys are.
Oh man, once you get in the zone and you're like the asteroids get really fast and you're weaving in and out, and you want to break up the asteroids so that they fall and hit the bugs that come up behind you and try and shoot you. It's good. I like it, and it's free. There's no reason not to try it.
Yeah.
And it's the only thing that comes up when you search that on every app store, which is impressive given that there's a billion apps.
The other thing I played, I didn't get a chance to play it that much, but Ghost of Tsushima. I kind of gave into the hype, which was really just like my friend at work being like, yo, it's really good. I played it from like 5:30 to like just before work, and I was like, all right, I'll get it. And I called a bunch of EB games, like 7 or 8, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just trade in some games. And none of them had it. They're all like, Sony didn't send us enough copies. I'm like, yeah, of course they did. And then one was near like my in-laws, and I knew I was going to my in-laws today or whatever. And I was like, oh, what about Sunday? Would you get another shipment? And there was like, oh, we're actually closing the store for good on Sunday, so no. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, we're stuck.
Like closed forever?
Yeah, permanently closing the EB games. So,
oh,
stock ain't looking too good. But I'm really digging Ghost of Tsushima. I love the colors in the world. Like, it's so cool to just kind of roam around. I tried playing the gray and white or black and white like mode. I forget what it's named after that director. And I feel like it just takes away from the world a little bit, like, because the world is just so cool and colorful. But I'm not that far. I'm only like 2 hours in or so. I like the little touches of like the standoffs, and I like the HUD-less thing. There's not like you use the wind to kind of find where you're going and whatnot. I've been playing with like English subtitles with Japanese voices.
Yeah, me too. But it's a bummer because their lips don't match.
Yeah, you know what though? I got a mask. To cover my face, because you just find gear, and I'm like, oh, I'll just wear this mask. Just like,
problem solved.
So yeah, I'm not that far, but I'm enjoying it. It's cool. It's also really hard. Like, it's way harder than I thought. I've died a lot. I don't know about you.
Yeah. They hit you like 2 or 3 hits and you're dead. At least at this point in my health bar.
And they fake me out, because I think there's a thing later on you can get that will let you self revive, but in the early game, like, you don't have that, so you just like they don't kill you right away. They let you like they kick you a bit and stuff, and you're like, oh, am I going to get up heroically here? And then
they just grab the back of your neck and then slit your
throat.
throat.
And I'm like, oh shit, they just kicked me for a little while and then slit my throat. That's brutal.
They were the Mongols.
Yeah. So I'm and you know it's fun to play a samurai game that like there's not many samurai games out there, and the ones that do, like Nioh and Onimusha, have like demons and other shit. It's just kind of cool to play like a historic like samurai versus Mongolians like war thing. It's got me looking at the Wikipedia article for that invasion too. So I'm just like, yo, this is dope.
You know what? I was too, and it's not historically accurate. And I was reading an interview with Nate Fox, who's one of the creatives at Insomniac.
Yeah, he said like they kind of used some creative.
They took some creative liberties with this game.
Yeah.
They kind of just stitched together like the best of like Japanese settings that aren't. It's not, of course, actually really representative of the island of Tsushima.
No, and I saw that they were looking at doing a real historic person at first, and then people were like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, we'll make our own story here.
Yeah, I mean, from the perception I have of Sucker Punch Productions' creative vision is they kind of just like do what they think looks cool. Like when they're receiving some criticism for the native representation in Infamous Second Son, they were like, why did you decide to tell a native character? And he was like, oh, we were like, hey, there's native people in the state of Washington. Why not just pick one of them? And that was the extent of the thought that went into the decision for their main character. You know, like,
yeah.
So that's the level we're kind of operating at. So I totally bet, like, at the start of this at the whiteboard, it was like, yo, samurai are cool.
Samurai dope. Let's fucking do this.
Yeah, like we do like a samurai thing, and you can like run around the island and like do showdowns like in old samurai movies. Like, and I'm fine with that. I've been reading a lot of criticism of the game from, you know, the usual suspects. That sounds kind of mean, but like the conversation around this game is definitely a little dicey, and I think there is some hurt feelings from a lot of the. Or I've read, you know, Dialacina on Twitter.
Yeah,
you don't have a strong opinion of her, but
I just muted her because it's just like too much. I'm like, I feel like nothing is good for you. Like you just seem to complain.
Except for Demon Souls, she likes Demon Souls.
Oh really? I don't know. Every time I see her come up, it's just complaining about something, and I'm just like, I don't need that in my life. Like, so I have her muted, and I also
listen to she is, yeah. So that hit a little close to home.
Yeah, I was going to say
in Infamous Second Son.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And then I was listening to Waypoint's review of it, and Austin Walker is like a big fan of like Native history and had like like Japanese history and stuff, and had like he says like a self-described like 4-year samurai phase, and he was like, it bothered me so much in this game that they took a lot of historical inaccuracies. Like apparently the haiku wasn't even invented yet, and it's like one of the main side things in this game is you go to different vistas and meditate and write a haiku.
Yeah.
But like that didn't exist yet. And like apparently later in the game there's certain weapons that didn't exist for a couple hundred years that they definitely just threw in because they were like cool gunpowder things, and we needed to have a on rails Gatling section in this game. And so in that way I think it's kind of dumb, but in the other way you said, like you get to points in this game and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to stare at this for a bit. And the photo mode, Steve, I don't know if you've messed with it, but you can do like not even just photos. You can set the camera somewhere and then start playing and record it.
Oh, really? No, I haven't I've never really gone into the photo mode like in any game.
The photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima is awesome.
I even turned it off, to be perfectly honest, because I was like, I don't even want to.
Tsushima?
Like, yeah, I don't even want to like.
No, dude, it's so good. And you can like, so you can set the camera up and then like turn on the wind, so like your cape moves and the trees move, and you can almost like make like a GIF. It's like, it's so cool, Steve. I love the photo mode in this game, and I usually mess around in photo modes like for like the first couple minutes of every game, but I think I'll be coming back to that at a lot of points in this game. And the colors are amazing, which makes me wonder why anyone would play it in the black and white.
I know,
old samurai.
That's what I tried it out when I got to the Golden Temple, which is like such a beautiful scene in the game, like the area. And I tried it out, and I was just like, this. I'm like, this. I don't want to play this at all. Like this. Like it just. I don't want to. I'd much rather play with colors. So
the other thing that struck me, especially coming off of The Last of Us Part 2, is it's very stiff in the cutscenes, and the intro isn't the best. Like, it's kind of like cliche video game intro, and like the characters' faces feel stiff because like I'm coming off playing like 30 hours of The Last of Us Part 2, which probably has like the most impressive cutscene to gameplay, like fidelity, facial animations, motion capture performance of like probably any game ever released. And started playing Tsushima, and like the eyeballs look like marbles, and the face, like the cheeks, it just looks so stiff and not natural after playing Last of Us Part 2. Which is no fault of Ghost of Tsushima. Like, they don't have the, resources, and I'm assuming a lot of the technical talent of Naughty Dog, which is like, they're the best of the best in air quotes. But that is something that struck me right away, as I'm like, this just feels kind of stiff and open worldy game cutscene-y, and I wasn't really vibing with the intro. But once you got into the open world and you're riding around on horses and walking up to Mongol camps and doing face-offs, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way. One thing I have noticed is just, I don't know if there was a giant memo that was just sent to all like Sony studios to just have to add like flashbacks into your game, because I feel like every single like PlayStation game lately has just had flashbacks to previous moments, like Last of Us, obviously, Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone had a bunch, like, and I think like Ghost of Tsushima, like the coolest one was that boar one, when you first kind of like assassinate someone. I was like, this is dope. I don't know, it's a really cool game. I haven't really seen many of the criticisms for it or anything like that. Like, I haven't really been paying attention to it. Like, I don't know, is it like not like other than, like, do they say it's supposed to be historically accurate, or is it just like
they are representing a real setting with real historical figures in a real historical moment, and anytime you do that, you open yourself up to harsher criticism.
Is anyone other than Khan like real? Genghis Khan's his nephew or whatever, the guy, I forget the main guy.
That guy's also in Doctor Strange. I noticed he's the like assistant wizard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the first thing. I was like, holy shit, it's that guy. And I like went to his IMDb and I was like, holy shit, he's in like everything.
But is anyone else in the game real? Like the archer person that you find, and like the
I don't know
girl who rescues you.
I think the like emperor you hear about, and the like I think like the head samurai. They're not called the head samurai, like they work at like a kitchen or something, but like those characters I think are real, but I can't 100% confirm. But just a lot of the other stuff, because like when you start up the game, there's no like year or something that pops up on screen. Like, they don't say like Tsushima Island 11/12 or whenever it's supposed to be. So like they are very loosely trying to associate with this real thing, but it's more to serve setting up this big sandbox play time with a bunch of cool samurai and ninja gadgets than it is to detail a historical setting like Assassin's Creed does.
Yeah, here's actually the quote I was thinking of. This game is entirely grounded in reality. We're trying hard to transport people to 1274 Japan. We've inspired by history, and we're not building it back stone by stone. We're not trying to rebuild Tsushima Island. Our protagonist is a work of fiction. We actually thought about using some historical figures, and we asked some people who are more culturally aware than us, and they said that it would be insensitive, so we didn't do it. I was like, all right. I mean,
this game definitely feels like a bunch of middle-aged white guys in Seattle wanted to make a samurai game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just feels like that.
No, I mean, Kojima is fucking shit all over American politics in like 8 different games, so I mean, like, people,
but they're not trying to shit all over Japanese politics.
But
if
what
anything,
I mean is,
they're
like,
kind of.
What I mean is, you can make games just by not being like part of that culture. You know, It's also not like they wrote a story of a real Japanese person who lives in like how they, their struggles of being a Japanese person like today. Like they're making a game of from like 1270 or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really feel like diving into that girl's tweets or whatever, but I can. Yeah, I don't know. The game's fun.
The game is fun, and for most people, that's the most important thing about a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read a couple interesting, because there's something we said about like sort of the Japanese imperialism and how the samurai were essentially like a police state, right? Like they ruled through fear. You don't want to do anything illegal, or the samurai show up and kill you
Just
in the
fuck you
public
up.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're playing as one of those people, and even like in the things I've noticed in like there's a peasant class, and you're one of the lords, and you lord over the peasant class, and like that is historically accurate, but at the same time like the peasants come up and they're like, oh lord, thank you so much, and it feels kind of like weird to me, but I mean that's I'm sure and I've heard a couple like funny scenes with that, where like there's this one part where you find you come to this village, you're like, oh, would you like to meet our samurai? And you're like, oh, I didn't know anyone else survived. And you walk around the corner, and it's obviously some peasant who just found samurai armor and like put it on and just pretended to be the samurai for that town, which is funny. So I like the little moments like that. It is a very serious game too. Like there's not a lot of quips, not a lot of one-liners.
No, there isn't. There's not really. They don't really throw humor in or anything like that. So, your character is like a pretty strict character, I guess, and like very kind of like. I mean, honor or whatever is kind of like a big thing in this game so far, at least. Like in the first couple hours I played, and he like has to struggle with like killing someone from behind and not letting them see him and know or whatever. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know anything. Ask me if I even knew if Tsushima, like if that island was real before this game even fucking was announced. Like I didn't even know this island existed. I didn't know anything about this invasion. It's got me reading on Wikipedia. I don't know anything about samurai or samurai lore. Like all the samurai things I've ever known about were from like Onimusha and Neo. So like it's I don't know much about all the back story stuff, but I'm quite enjoying it. I like kind of the story, at least where it's coming from, like kind of building up an army to just like, because you got your ass handed to you and whatnot, so save your uncle, so I'm down with that too.
I read that they went to Tsushima, like some people from Sucker Punch, and then like a local paper wrote about it, and they all were extremely worried that the mainstream gaming press would pick up on that and be like, oh my god, what was Sucker Punch doing in Tsushima, this random Japanese island? What, this next game confirmed set in Japan? And then apparently no one picked it up, and it just sat on this local paper's like website for like a while before they actually announced it.
That's amazing.
I know, that's so funny. It's like the the Apex Legends map leaked on Reddit like a year and a half before the game came out, and he was like, whoever posted it was like, yeah, this is the next battle royale from Respawn, here's the map, I got a leak. And they were like, no it's not, and then they announced it, and it's the exact same picture of the map in the game. Yeah, I always love little stories like that. Someone calls it and no one believes them. Like the best one of those, you saw the kid who was on the plane, and the guy in the seat next to him was looking at the pitch deck for the Tomb Raider reboot.
It was on a subway train or whatever in Montreal.
A subway train. And he was just taking pictures and then posted it. It was like, oh my god, new Tomb Raider game. And they're like, no way, these are fake. And then they announced a new Tomb Raider game, and he was like, I told you.
And the thing with that is like he took that photo like in Montreal, right? Which is because the last Tomb Raider game was done by Montreal Eidos or whatever, and not Crystal Dynamics. Yeah. So people were like, even thought it was more like fake because it wasn't the same studio. I remember that. That was good times.
Oh man, so good. All right, see. I also want to plug. I played some Super Hot 2 this week. It's called like Super Hot Mind Control Delete or something, but it was really cool. Everyone who bought the original game got the second one for free, essentially. Even on PS4 and Xbox One, they'll send you a code to your email, which is pretty cool.
Well, I feel like an idiot. I don't have that game. Shit.
I mean, it's still on, I think, the launch week sale. But yeah, I really like it. They did some cool things with it where you sort of play like all the levels are divided up into like 5 or 6 random levels that after each or after a couple you can like add a new like perk to your character for just that level, which I really like, and really mixes it up, and it pulls from the same like 10 or 15 levels but like puts you in a different place with enemies spawning in from different places. And so as you begin to learn the levels and you get deeper into the game, every time you get to it, you feel more and more confident. And like, I'm like running around corners and like throwing compact discs into someone's face. They shatter and you grab the shotgun and like shoot down the stairs. The 2 guys who walk up it and they both die. And it's like, it's super hot. It's really good. And yeah, it's on PC and Epic or Steam and Epic at the moment, but they'll probably bring it everywhere else like they did for the first one.
Sure. Cool.
Super dope. That's it for this episode, CanadianGameDevs.com podcast, episode number 151. Thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Also, thank you to our amazing patrons, who you can join over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs if you want special 2-day early access to the show, an exclusive Patreon-only channel on our Discord, occasional game key giveaways, as well as gaming event discount codes, and the knowledge that you're helping us keep doing what we do. If you back us at higher than $1 a month, we'll put your name at the end of the credits with these folks: Aaron McLeod, Elizabeth Avery, Hanel, Jean Leggett, Jeff Shepstone, Jeffrey Canham, Kai Hutchins, M5 Games, Nicholas A. Zorko, Nav from Academy of Games, PixelNauts_Alex, Slaughternecko, and Stacy H. Thank you so much, patrons. And to everyone else who backed us at lesser tiers, we appreciate your support. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. We'd love to take your feedback, good and bad, so let us know how we can improve. If you're not listening on Apple, send us an email, contact@CanadianGameDevs.com.
Good.
And if you like this episode, share it with someone who you think might also like it.
Join the Discord.
Join our Discord too. It's a lovely little community. We're constantly looking for feedback, changing it, adding people. We're gonna hit 1,000 people soon, so
I know. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
And we got memes. We got stocks.
Man, the memes page is great. I like to start my morning. I go to the memes page, just scroll through the past like 20 or 30 memes, find a couple good ones, share them with my friends, as you are wont to do with memes and how they successfully travel across the internet.
My stocks channel is pretty much dead because I hate all you fucking people. So
I just think you're probably literally only the person in our channel who
it's
buys
like
stocks.
it's like the thing that I developed, like the habit, not the habit, I don't know, the thing that I kind of started to read into a lot and got into during quarantine. Like I bought some stocks and have been keeping an eye on the market and stuff like that. And it's just been like the fun new kind of hobby that I've had this quarantine. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're part of the capitalist community. You're part of the problem.
Whatever.
I'll play the anthem here. Thanks for joining me, Steve. It's always been a pleasure to chat with you about games, how we're feeling, what we're playing. Where can people find you on the internet?
Stephen L. Crane, various places, Instagram, TikTok. Actually, I don't remember what my TikTok name is, but and Instagram. I just really just post things about my daughter. But sports are starting up soon as well, so I'm quite excited for that. So,
except not baseball, right? Because they couldn't get in.
I don't know. I haven't really been following it. Like yeah, the Toronto Raptors are in Florida, and then the hockey is in Edmonton and Toronto. And then I don't know the Blue Jays situation is because I thought like they were just going to play in Boston or not Boston in Buffalo because that's where the AAA team plays. But I don't know what's going on. I've heard like inter-squad games are happening. I think like basketball starts in like a couple of days. To be perfectly honest, like I think it's like next week. There's games start up again, so. They should have just canceled the seasons. They should fucking greedy motherfuckers. But still, I'm happy.
They gotta sell 2K21. That's probably what made the decision. They're like, we can't do a new roster if we don't do a season.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think one of the features in NBA 2K is, like, you can play the games that are happening that day.
That's kind of cool.
And so, like, you know, if the Raptors play Boston, you could just, like, go play that game with the active rosters of that day. But when the season was shut down, the schedule was still active, but then, like, I guess, like, it would connect or something, and the game didn't exist, so it, like, crashed in the game. They had to, like, patch it. I don't know.
That's funny.
NBA 2K is a bunch of fucking robbers, though, so whatever.
You can find me on Twitter at Stephen Riley, STPHANRIILLY, to see all my communist propaganda and opinions about different video games.
You're definitely the most left-leaning
follow-
person I've ever met in my life.
Man, it just... Yeah. I don't think that's true. You've probably met others. They just weren't as...
Maybe I definitely
vocal
knew
about
a
it.
lot in Guelph, because Guelph is a very left-leaning.
Guelph has hundreds of voters for the Communist Party of Canada. I've seen Communist Party signs at election time in Guelph.
Oh yeah, I had a friend who jokingly voted for them, and I was just like, I'm not going to jokingly vote for them. I want this guy to win.
It's the second oldest party in Canada.
Is it really? What's the first? Liberal?
It is. I think it's the Liberal Party, correct.
JT, my boy.
But yeah, been there since the OG.
JT's not my boy, by the way. Jack Meat's my boy right now. So
Oh, Jugmeat. It's Jugmeat.
yeah.
No, you said
Oh,
Jagmeat.
sorry. Yeah, Jag.
That's okay. The CVC does it too, so you're not.
It's Jag, like JGMEET, isn't it? Jag Meat.
Yeah, but you pronounce it Jugmeat.
Oh, do you? Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my guy.
No, it's okay. Literally every single host who interviewed him during the last election cycle did the
All right,
exact
well, I'm
same
way
thing.
less important than that, so and I fucked it up.
Exactly. So.
Can I call you Joe?
And you could
Sorry.
call him Mr. Singh. Or no, it's isn't it MP elect or something? I don't know. There's a special.
Remember the call me? Can I
name
call
for
you
it.
Joe thing?
No, what's that?
It was in the 2008 election when who's the girl from Alaska who is the vice president person? Fucking she.
Oh, you're not Sarah Sanders.
No,
it's
Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin.
the 2008.
Anyways, it was against
Sarah
Joe Biden,
Palin.
and it was the vice president debate or whatever.
Yeah, it was Sarah Palin.
And she basically, I guess she had a hard time saying Joe Biden, and so before like the debate started, she asked him if I can call you Joe, but the mics were on, so it just came off as like, can I call you Joe? It's just like he's a senator, like call him Joe Biden. Like how can you not say that name? Like, oh man. Anyways, sorry.
Good shit. Find us on Twitter at Canada Game Devs. We couldn't fit the whole thing. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, Canadian Game Devs. And yeah, check out our Steam Curator page. We highlight all the Canadian games on Steam. So if you're interested in supporting some Canadian Steam games, check us out there. Until next week, stay safe out there.
Bye.